And we are live in 3, 2, 1. Hey, it's good to see you. I've had a YouTube account for years, but it wasn't until this video that I finally recorded and uploaded my first one, so there's some good progress for me. I'm starting this Let's Play channel off with Rift. That was my first MMO I played years ago. Here's how this series will be structured. I'll talk about how I got into the game, how it compares to World of Warcraft that I have the most experience with as far as MMOs go. I'll go through the character creation process. Then I'll create a character with RNGesus, and you'll see why that could be a fun thing to do. I'll talk about the optional patron that I have. Please don't buy it if you just wanted to check out the game and see what it's all about. The game is totally free to play, and even though there are some paid things that you can get with real money, you don't need to spend them. Again, please don't buy it. I have it, but I just like the value of it, and I was really into the game. And then I will level from 1 to 70, that's the max in the game, and go through the different worlds and show you kind of how I used to play the game a lot. After I hit level 70, the videos will be over, and I'll probably make a video doing a recap of what it's like to finally join this kind of content creation after wanting to for a long time and just putting it off more and more. So how I got into the game. I was playing League of Legends casually with some online friends I met on an, excuse me, on an social networking app that ended a long time ago. When that friend group broke up, I was kind of in a no man's land and wasn't sure where I wanted to go with games and just wanted something different. Another friend recommended Rift, and I started playing that and just loved it. The different worlds and exploring everything was just the kind of change of pace that I was looking for. Rift came out 7 years after World of Warcraft, and it was an attempt to try to get some of that player base over to a different game. By the time it was released, WoW already had its vanilla and then the Burning Crusade, the Wrath of the Lich King, and Cataclysm expansions released. Around a year or so after Rift came out, Mists of Pandaria's expansion came out. So it was a long shot to try to get some of those players to jump over, and at the end of the day and that time, it just didn't work as they were predicting it would have. It's unfortunate, because I like this game a lot. The original developers left the game a long time ago, and then Tryon Games was bought by Gamago, and it ended. It's been in maintenance mode ever since, and there are no updates coming. I'm actually surprised that it's still running, to be honest with you, but I'm glad it is so that I can make this video and show everybody something I used to love and still love to this day. My rogue on this server, Devs Come Back, is a little meme play on that. But they're not going to see this and they won't care anyways what I say about the game. If you're into serious raiding or doing dungeons and that kind of stuff, then Rift definitely isn't the game for you. It just doesn't have the player base that it used to. And even in its prime, it still could never even come close to what WoW can do. But if you like to run around, explore things, pick up shiny things on the ground, and just kind of progress that way, then this could be a great option for you. I play it like it's a single player game. There are still some players on there, but there's not really a community, to be honest with you. So let's talk about some of the main differences between WoW and Rift, and why one might be better for you than the other one. WoW obviously requires a paid subscription every month to play it, as well as buying the latest expansions if you're playing the retail version of it. Classic you don't have to pay for because it's included in your subscription. And you can't go backwards in a WoW unless you're playing Classic, but I highly doubt they will make a classic version of the retail stuff that's out right now 15 years from now. I may be wrong though, so time will tell. Rift used to require a subscription to play it, but it's totally free to play now. Like I said earlier, there are things you can buy with real money, but you don't need to spend those, and I highly recommend that you don't do that if you're just checking out the game. WoW's classes and specializations are pretty flexible to a certain extent, but some of that stuff is kind of hard locked in there. Like how mages and warlocks can only ever be ranged DPS, rogues can only be melee DPS, and warriors can either tank or melee DPS. There have been some exceptions over the years, like when some of the expansions and raid tiers where mages and warlocks might have been used to tank certain mechanics in the game. But in Rift, mages can be proper tanks, which I'll show you that in probably the next video when I get to breaking things down a bit more. Let's see where I lost my place here. WoW had the traditional talent trees through Cataclysm, then it changed to a different system. And then in Dragonflight and the current expansions, it's got that spiderweb design. In Rift, they use the talent trees like that, but they're upside down and they work totally differently. Rift offers a ton of flexibility as far as character design, so you can custom design a character to be almost exactly like you'd want it. If you wanted to make a glass cannon or pure DPS that might be better in groups than solo, a tanky melee damage paladin type, single target or AoE healer, or any combination in between, you can do that on one character in Rift with different custom presets that you can make. I'll log into this Kalari Cleric Musical Empath that was my original Twitch username and my YouTube channel until I rebranded both of them to a different name I liked a lot more and reflect this content more. A lot of people are visual learners and I'm right up there with them, so this pop-up here in the middle is part of the patron. I'm going to talk about that in another video, so I'll just ignore that one for now. Then you open up the talents near the middle here where it says Inquisitor, Druid, and Justicar. Those are called souls, and you can swap them out to different souls if you wanted to make a different build. This particular character is a druid. It has a pet, and it's the Justicar is the tanking soul for this. The nice thing about Rift is that every class in the game can be a ranged or melee DPS, a healer, a support, or a tank, or any combination in between, like I said just a minute ago. Let's see, I keep losing my spot here. Full tree can have up to 61 points in it, and 76 total when you hit level 60. Before that, the right side of this isn't there. It shows up when you hit level 60. From 61 to 65, you can pick up to 4 different options for each one. And then 66 to 70, you get legendaries, which have these borders around them. You can have up to 3 in a tree and 5 total. The one exception to this and most things in the game is Primalist. It works completely different than the rest of them. For that class, the max is 31 points in a tree and 39 total. Another big difference is you get your first point from level 1 instead of level 10 in WoW, unless it's changed. I haven't bought the latest 2 expansions. I kind of stepped back away from the game for a bit. Oh, where am I? I should really get better at remembering my scripts and everything. Oh yeah, the presets. There are a lot of really good presets on there for the damage, healers, tanking, and support, depending on what kind of role and playstyle you want to do. Some of them have a guide button on here that used to lead to the official forums, where they'd have great breakdowns of like rotations and everything for that spec and everything. But when the game stopped being supported and developed, those links go nowhere. You can still find them on archives, and I don't remember exactly how I found them, but I bookmarked them on my computer for easy access. If you find a guide that says 4.5, that's actually current content, despite it being years ago that it came out, because the game's been stuck in that state. If you want a different role here, here's the different ones I've made for this one. If I want to be a tank, watch my health is 191,000. Activate a tank here. And now my character is a tank. And you notice all three of the trees have totally changed, as well as my mastery points. And the nice thing about the presets is they make it really easy to level. It's not very much to think about. They kind of guide your way. I'll show you that on this level 1 mage I made. Do I have tutorials still on? Good, I turned them off. Those are really annoying. It talks to you the whole time. I can tell you that stuff better. But at level 1, or any level, when you get more talent points, you'll have this little arrow above that thinks you should pick that one next. And now it's different for if you go to a different preset. Take that one off. You see the arrow's now over on this one. And the more points you spend on the top trees, the more points and abilities you get on the bottom and the roots, depending on what kind of a build you're doing. Let's log out here. If you're neurotypical and tend to stim with your hands a lot, and even in games like I am and do, then there is an amazing preset for you. That was probably a wild sentence to hear, but just hear me out, and I'll show you. It's in the Primalist class that doesn't come with the game. You have to buy that one separately. But like I've said before, please don't buy that unless you really wanted to try it. If you open up the talents, go to the presets, it's Phoenix of the Dawn. It says, this spec is good at single target DPS and offers good mobility. Don't forget to jump. In basics, it says, the most important fact about this build is that you must keep moving or jumping or both. And then if you go down to how to play, it says, then just spam the macro and make sure you keep jumping or moving. And then you go down to tips, and it says, never stop jumping or moving. So this preset was custom designed for the people who like to move around in games and stuff with restless hand syndrome, a new term I just coined. So that one, if you're playing that preset, it helps to jump around a bit. If I get Primalist in my character creation, I might try that one to see how it is. I don't remember playing that playstyle before. I think that's about the end of this rambling video. The next video I'll talk about the character creation process, and then I'll make my character with RNGesus for the next one, and then talk about the patron and the dimensions, which are kind of like the houses and everything there. Yeah, I'll take it easy. I'll see you in the next one.